Hello and good evening, race fans. Welcome to the NASCAR Vernors Cup Series. We are live here at the Homestead-Miami Speedway. Just a week after Jeff Lynn picked up a big win in the Union Pacific 400 at Texas World. But today's race is the TV Tropes 400. Homestead almost always an exciting track, and we've got a very interesting starting lineup here. There's a nice view of the infield road course. And there's where Scott Dixon spun it into the barrels in 2004. But anyway, we ought to be getting to the starting lineup. Peter Perfect is on the front row in the 9, looking for his first win since 2018. Also in the exact same boat, winning early on in the year in 2018, but not winning since. Your pole sitter, Al Roker. Dave Marcus will make his 891st career start today, breaking a tie with Terry Labonte for third place on the all-time starts chart. Only 15 behind Ricky Rudd right now. Lining up next to him will be Denzel Washington, who won at California earlier in the year. Bob Ross will line up next to pole sitter Woody Woodpecker in the 21. And Crow T Robot will line up next to Marco Polo. Rounding out the top 10 will be Tom Jones and Bela Fleck to the inside of him in the number 22 Toyota Camry. There's Hut Strickland. He starts to the outside of last week's winner, Jeff Lynn, repping the Schneider colors once again. Then Richard Simmons and Al Capone will line up in this next row. Morgan Freeman, he'll line up next to Hank Hill, who had to get in through go or go home qualifying. Then it's Woody Harrelson, the Harrelson that is Woody. He'll start alongside Jerry Springer, rounding out what I believe is the top 20 starting slots. Indeed, is Tom Hanks, who's been quarantined to his race car, and Rick Scott in the Raven West 02. John Cena is mid-pack, along with Telly Savalas, and then there's Alfred Hitchcock, and the defending series champion and the winner here in 2018, Harrison Ford. Iggy Koopa will roll off in the 25th slot alongside Burt Reynolds. Then Peter Onjak, also the other driver making his first start this year. Horace Racing is back once again, ladies and gentlemen. And they've entered into an alliance with Rush Fender Racing. Onjak, the Truck Series regular, bringing the Northern Tool colors. He starts alongside David Dayton. Then Geddy Lee and Blaze Alexander. Geddy Lee and Blaze Alexander. And Stephen George line up next to Ian Anderson. Snoop Dogg and Casper the Friendly Ghost and Chick Corea and Brian Wilson. It's had an interesting year so far. Kathy Bates and Brendan Gaughan, who almost won last week. Billy May starts to the inside of last year's winner of this race, Joe Biden. Starting shotgun on the field will be Walter White and rookie Count Dracula.
Drivers, start your engines!
A packed crowd, as you can see, although it does look a little thin in some spots, like right there. maybe it's not a sellout crowd. What I do know is somebody was dumb, and it was Peter Perfect. Peter Perfect was dumb.
Drivers, to your car.
But now he's not dumb. He's smart. Al Roker has not won since this is the sixth race. Okay, so this is the sixth race of the 2020 season. Al Roker's only win, at least points win at least, was the sixth race of the 2018 season. That's exactly 2 years. He has lost the last 71 races. And Peter Perfect hasn't been too much better. I believe he's lost the last 68. So 2 long losing streaks. I mean, Dave Marcus also has an incredibly long losing streak in terms of starts. And then you got Denzel Washington, whose losing streak is like 2 races. Yes, 2 races. Pace car down pit road. 42 cars, round turn 4, and take the green flag here at the TV Tropes. 400. Al Roker with an excellent jump off the line. That's almost criminal. Peter Perfect will fall in the line in the second. Dave Marcus quickly will fall in the third, but here comes Bob Ross to the inside of the 71. Driver from Wausau, Wisconsin. One of the oldest drivers in the field. Probably in the longest tenure in NASCAR. Having first made starts since before even the Winston Cup era. That was before there was any title sponsorship, and now the series is on its 5th Winston Nextel Sprint Monster for 1 year, and now Vernors. Al Roker continues to lead. Bob Ross had actually picked his way in the second place, but now Peter Perfect taking it back, but he wants more. Peter Perfect going for the race lead here, only 3 laps in. Trying to dive to the inside of the 6, cannot get there. And the 66 Kiko-Man Ford getting a run up high. Bob Ross will clear the 9 going down the back straightaway. Little bit further back, some cars jostling for position. Bela Fleck has worked his way up into the 5th spot. He's trying to work around 4th place driver at his Crotty robot, running in the Aaron's Dream Machine this weekend. But now, here comes Wausau, Wisconsin's Dave Marcus, trying to get to the inside of the 22. 71 trying to get a little bit of a boost from the 17 right behind him. That is former mayor of Cincinnati and talk show host for a while at least. I mean, he's still a TV host, Jerry Springer. Speaking of which, why haven't I made a Judge Sherry car yet? But all eyes are on Al Roker, who somehow continues to lead this race. Oh, one car way high, almost into the wall even, and that was Marco Polo. What was I talking about? Al Roker, he had a big lead, but now Bob Ross is going to take the lead coming off of turn 4. Bob Ross has led his first lap of the afternoon, hoping it won't be his last as well. Well, Bob Ross is at least. The other 42 are kind of hoping, or at least hoping that he doesn't lead the last lap, is what I'm trying to say, I guess. Now Peter Perfect, taking a lunge at Crow, and now a lunge at Al Roker. We saw how this did not work out as well. He only trying to go for the 2-for-1 deal, and it usually hasn't worked out. It did not work out that time. He only got by the one car, that being the one car itself. Hear these cars as they roar into the corners. Bob Ross just set one of the faster laps of the afternoon. Look at them. They're sailing into turn one at 195 miles an hour. Flying. Bela flex side by side with Peter Perfect for the third spot. Crow T Robot in fifth. And there is Jeff Lynn, last week's winner, trying to hold on to sixth. At the line, he did hold on to it from Hank Hill. The 17 and the 71 we've already talked about. Rounding out the top 10 at the moment is that 97 of Harrison Ford. But now Woody Harrelson looking at the challenge. Harrelson getting back up here as well. Or was he ever up here in the first place? Not really, not this race. Denzel Washington up here. Let's talk about Rick Scott. Rick Scott actually was locked in for the first 5 races, but did so poorly, he was not locked in for this one. He just had a lot of bad luck. Well, he wasn't locked in for Daytona, but because of how Daytona is, but he ended up winning his duel. So he's had that to hang his hat on. And right now, he's the highest running rookie on the track by a considerable margin. The next rookie on track is David Dayton, who is scored in the 21st slot, replacing Iggy Koopa, who drove that 15 the last 2 years for Bernie Ecclestone Incorporated. David Dayton got his first win in any NASCAR competition last year at Michigan, getting a big win in the second year in the Melling Series. A great run in points got him this seat. But he is a few positions behind Rick Scott. In fact, Rick Scott 13th, David Dayton 21st. Meanwhile, Bela Fleck has sorted things out, and he is running third, trying to chase down the 66 and the 6. Oh, geez, that is a satanic running order right there. What if the 6 was 9? Well, the 9 is trying to make that happen. Peter Perfect running in the 4th slot at the moment. Hank Hill is in the 5th slot. And it's Woody Harrelson, Billy Mays, Dave Marcus, John Cena, and now Richard Simmons. An interesting shake-up there. Rick Scott is now jumped into 11th. Jeff Lynn back to 12th. Crow is faded to 13th, believe it or not. Geddy Lee up to 14th now. Joe Biden running in the 15th slot. 16th is Kathy Bates. It's 3 wide for 17th between Denzel Washington, Walter White, who started last, Jerry Springer. Stephen George rounds out the top 20. 21st is David Dayton. 22nd, Tom Jones. 23rd, Harrison Ford. 24th, Brendan Gaughan. 25th, Casper the Friendly Ghost. And 26th, points leader Woody Woodpecker, who just moved up a spot now. And 27th is Snoop Dogg. 28th, Telly Savalas. 29th, Hut Strickland. And 30th is Peter Onjak. Last 12 drivers running: Brian Wilson, Blaze Alexander, Count Dracula, Alfred Hitchcock, Burt Reynolds, Marco Polo, Iggy Koopa, Morgan Freeman, Al Capone, Tom Hanks, Chick Corea, and Ian Anderson. That is your running order as they come around to complete the 17th lap of this race. There is 50 laps to go as Al Roker takes the lead back. Car is getting kind of strung out towards the front, but still packed up near the back. Meanwhile, Bela Fleck was actually scored in second place that time by. It's really a 5-car battle up front. Well, it was 5, now it's 3, and then 2. Bela Fleck going for the lead. Can't quite get it this lap at the line. Meanwhile, Hank Hill is up there. He was in that 25 the last 2 years, but now has moved over to the 38, where he is usually had to qualify in on speed every week. And Bela Fleck moves to the lead. Hank Hill the second. Peter Perfect the third. The Turbo Terrific gunning for the top spot, though. Oh, the crossover move. High to low goes Bob Ross, as he will get around Al Roker, or try to at least. Bela Fleck showing the Toyotas that while they only have 3 full-time teams, they are not to be taken lightly. 2 of them running in the top 10 at the moment. The third, Casper finally goes scored in 23rd position at the line. Hut Strickland is running. It's not looked really fast the last couple of weeks after what was an incredibly strong start to the season. Hank Hill is second at the moment. Peter Perfect trying to hold on to third from Al Roker. He will. He's going for second already. Roker flat. Not Roker. It's Peter Perfect who flashes down to the inside of the 38. Heading into turn 3. Easily is going to clear. Hank Hill's hoping to have something on the high side, at least so he can deal with the 6. Al Roker thought he was going to have his hands full with Billy Mays, but Billy Mays has now been taken 3 wide as Rick Scott flashes down to the inside. The light's starting to come on as the sun goes down here in the Homestead-Miami Speedway. Bela Fleck continues to lead. Peter Perfect in second. Al Roker in third. Rick Scott is fourth. And they are 4 wide behind him for the 5th or 6th shot for a moment. It was for 6th. Because Woody Harrelson was in 5th. But it was 4 wide between Hank Hill, John Cena, Billy Mays, and Jeff Lynne. Billy Mays ends up in 6th, but Jeff Lynne's trying to change that as he goes to the inside. Jeff Lynne, last week's winner. Can he go back to back? He's sure looking like he might have the car to do it. Billy Mays actually will hold on. Almost a wreck! Richard Simmons just nearly punted John Cena into the turn 2 wall. Oh, and John Cena nearly punted Geddy Lee going into turn 3. Rick Scott going for third on Al Roker. And he's got to run. Look who also has a toe on the bottom. It's none other than Jeff Lynne. Jeff Lynne will take the 4th slot. Al Roker running in 5th. No, it's John Cena. And pit stops have started a little bit before halfway. Well, pit stop. Richard Simmons brings the number 3 Oreo Goodwrench Chevrolet down the pit road. Unsure of whether this is scheduled or unscheduled. I'm sure we'll find out at the line this time by. Now Peter Perfect to the inside. No, he's pitting. And so is Bela Fleck. It is scheduled pit stop. Somebody threw the dirt. No caution. And Rick Scott will get a lead at the line. His first lead in the points race. Let Brendan Gaughan running second. That's where he finished last week. At the moment, several cars have pitted. "28 cars came down that time by, as there are only 13 who had stayed out, and there was the one car who pitted before. That adds up to... And Ian Anderson will stay out as well. Will he get a lap led? Yes, he will. Interesting. Jockeying on pit road. Unlike in the truck race, I believe it was, where we did see a wreck that I think was right before a pit stop cycle, this is relatively clean cycle. As we watch Richard Simmons come out on the track, where does he come out? He's around the 24. He's going to get around the 55, it looks like, or be side by side for position, but will not. They will all be far behind the 22. Is the 22 going to have any challenge? I don't think he will. Indeed. Bela Fleck right by the 02 and the 62 as they come up off the access road. Oh, nearly a wreck. Rick Scott nearly pushed Brendan Gaughan into Jeff Lynne and Richard Simmons. But great pit strategy from the 62 team. This team has struggled to get the second car of Carl Edwards in to the race, but now they are in 5th place. They were technically scored in 6th that time by because Ian Anderson was the leader. But as we approach halfway, Bela Fleck has sorted things out as your leader. Richard Simmons a second behind in second. Then Jeff Lynne, John Cena, and Brendan Gaughan battling out for third. Gaughan almost trying to make things 3 wide. Thinks better of it. No, he doesn't. Yes, he does. Ducks in the line behind the 24 of John Cena. Rick Scott running in the 6th slot. Then Geddy Lee has worked his way up to 7th. Then Woody Harrelson, Billy Mays, Al Roker, top 10. Peter Perfect right in 11th. Walter White, 12th. Dave Marcus, 13th. Stephen George, 14th. And Casper the Friendly Ghost is who rounds out your top 15. Tom Hanks running in last. Over a half a lap behind. Now, it might be 1 lap slightly fresher dry tires, or it might be the advantage of getting the toe off from the draft, but Richard Simmons has caught up to the 22 car. As we phase further back, we discover that Snoop Dogg has just ran the fastest lap of the race. 28.629. As he runs in 25th place at the moment. No, Billy Mays goes faster. 6.27. He's in 8th place trying to run down Geddy Lee, who just ran his fastest lap of the race. The 3 trying to catch up to the 24 as we are now past the halfway point. 33 laps left in the TV Tropes 400. Bela Fleck got his first career win in the Fall Dover race last year. Now he's reunited with Warwick Davis Racing, who sold off the equipment right at the beginning of the year to Bela Fleck. Part of this, of course, he had to switch to Toyota. Now, coming to the line, Richard Simmons looking to get to the inside, try to make it. Now it's a 3-car battle or a 4-car battle. Brendan Gaughan right behind the 3 with John Cena in tow, though Jeff Lynne is up here. It is, for all intents and purposes now, a 5-car race for the win at the moment. The 62 under the 3, just like how they were at Texas World last year on the final lap. when Gone blew an engine on the back straightaway. This time, the engine is held together, but Gone has not been able to make the pass. Now, Gone nearly gets into Richard Simmons. Simmons has to check up a little bit and make that the 62 to P2. Gone, the only Dodge in the top 10 at the moment is Peter Perfect. The next one in line has faded to 12th slot. And can we give a shout out to Dave Marcus, the 79-year-old from Wausau, Wisconsin, running in the 9th slot. Scratch that, he just took P8. What a story it would be if Dave Marcus could win this race. But what also a story would it be if Brendan Gaughan could get this race as redemption for losing out last week. And the man who we lost to last week is not too distant in his rearview mirror. It is Jeff Lynne. However, if he wants to win, he's got to get around Bela Fleck, and that's not going to happen if John Cena is going to his inside, but Gaughan will hold him off. Similar scheme to what he ran last year was more the Napa colors. Gaughan trying to run the high line now to see if he can get to hold off Cena. I don't know if it's working because Cena's got a good line going into one. Gaughan shut him down. Bela Fleck actually hasn't gotten a terrible amount of run yet. Peter Onjak towards the back, not how he was hoping for in his first career start. Woody Woodpecker. One car Lily had to check up with Snoop Dogg. Let's see what happened there. I don't know. As we look farther up, Dave Marcus trying to hold off Walter White for the 8th spot. But now, as we were going through the pack, Brendan Gaughan is taking the lead, coming to the line. 25 laps to go for Brendan Gaughan here at the Homestead-Miami Speedway. This is not just trying to be redemption for last week, trying to redemption for the lost championship in 2003. When Marty Houston triggered a crash that took him out of championship contention, giving it to Travis Quapple. Now another crash is almost triggered. This time John Cena nearly dumped Brendan Gaughan. John Cena to the point. 24 to go. Now look who's trying to get to the inside of the 24. It's the 22 of Bela Fleck. Brendan Gaughan almost trying to make it 3 wide. Thought better of it. Best not to trigger a massive crash in this stage of the race between the race leaders. Fortunately, this is going to cause him to fall a little bit back in line. Cena has not won since joining Hat Trick Motorsports. It seemed like a match made in heaven. He won at Richmond in that 11 car that's currently driven by Count Dracula after being driven by Woody Harrelson last year. Count Dracula running in the 37th spot. Bela Fleck now going the second. The 24 car last won the Dr. Pepper 600 with Patrick Starr behind the wheel in 2018. Hoorays for John Cena, ironically finished second. Bela Fleck with a run. Coming to the line. 21 to go. The lights are down really low. The The sun is just below the horizon, as you can see. You can see a little bit of pink. You can see the stars starting to come out tonight, as the stars are lighting it up on the track. Jeff Lynne is faded outside of the top 5. Here comes Billy Mays. Did he get hot in the right time as he runs his number 36 M&M's Pontiac to try and track down the race leaders? Geddy Lee at 7th. Rick Scott now back up to 8th. Dave Marcus holding down the 9th spot at the moment, as Al Roker, your pole sitter, and Walter White, who started last, battle side by side for the 10th spot. Also, Stephen George up here in 12th. Brendan Gaughan now going to the inside. Not just the Bela Fleck, but John Cena. He wants the lead back. He wants to win this race. You can tell. Gaughan is a man on a mission. Here we go. There are 18 laps left. That is 27 miles of racing to be contested under the lights here. Billy Mays now making a move for 4th, trying to get around Richard Simmons. He's got help from Jeff Lynne, and now it looks like very briefly some help from Geddy Lee. A lot more cars are getting up here. Next drivers to try and get up here: Rick Scott and Dave Marcus. They're running 8th and 9th. Can they track down the leaders? Brendan Gaughan continues to lead in his number 62 South Point Dodge. Not a good corner. Now John Cena looking to take the lead away from Gaughan once again. Going into 1. Gaughan remains clear. Billy Mays in 4th, now under fire from the 3 of Richard Simmons. This is a champion. He knows how to get it done. He usually has one win early in the year on the West Coast, but it did not happen this year. He won at Las Vegas in 2018. He won Texas World 2019. He hasn't cracked victory lane since. John Cena last cracked victory lane in 2018. He tried to get around Brendan Gaughan, who got his first career win at Pocono in his 62nd career start, fittingly, in the Northern 500. The first of 3 races in the summer sweep, which is coming back, of course. $250,000 on the line. Any driver who can win 2 races out of the Northern 500, the Firecracker 400, and the Brickyard 400 by their simplest names. We forgot about, there's another round of pit stops coming up. Richard Simmons hitting the apron. John Cena trying to dive under the 62. This is going to be the money stop here. Cena way wide. But he's got the track position. Gaughan is going to stay out another lap, though. Is that going to be the move? Or will we see the better move being made by the people coming down now? We got Cena, Bela Fleck, Dave Marcus, Billy Mays, Jeff Lynne, and more coming down. Drivers towards the back now. Brendan Gaughan, Geddy Lee, Rick Scott, Walter White, and Stephen George, the notables who stayed out this time by. Gaughan peels his number 62 down on the apron as Rick Scott stays out once again, along with Ian Anderson. Harrison Ford stays out. Denzel of the Washington variety. Towards the front, there is Richard Simmons on rails. Brendan Gaughan is already out of his stall. Richard Simmons is going to try and get around. He's got around the 22. Can he get around the 24? No. Oh, Woody Harrelson jumped the 71. Everybody else out. We look at Brendan Gaughan. Well, there's John Cena. He blows by the 99. Here they come. Gaughan has got the lead at the moment. Cena is closing. But now the speeds have equalized as they hit turn 3. For the most part, at least. Gaughan has got the lead. Technically, it was Rick Scott. Gaughan's by Scott with 10 laps to go. John Cena is right behind him, though. It looks like a 2-car duel. The master of thugonomics trying to run down Brendad. 9 to go. Dave Marcus has faded the 17th. You hate to see it. Richard Simmons sitting back in the 5th spot. In the 3rd spot. And now, bad lap for John Cena. Brendan Gaughan pulling away. 8 laps to go. See the strategy on the pit box. Darren Shaw calling the race. You can see team owner Logan Cloud on there. He's hoping and praying. This would be his first win in Cup as a team owner. That win for Gaughan last year, the teams had not merged yet. Gaughan was running a Chevrolet team, but merged with Logan Cloud Motorsports. Try and focus more on the driving side of things. Gaughan's definitely done great on his end of the deal. Cloud's not. The Cloud's 1 car going in, the 94, has not done as good with Carl Edwards only making 2 races so far this year. 6 laps to go. Brendan Gaughan leads by 8 tenths. And the best possible thing for Brendan Gaughan to have happen right now is Richard Simmons and John Cena battle for second. And that's exactly what's happening. Richard Simmons got sideways on corner entry, getting up John Cena as Cena washed up the racetrack. 5 laps to go. The gap, 1.25 seconds. It looks like a battle for second. It looks like the winner of this race all but in doubt. I mean, all but certain. We take one last scroll through the field from back to front. 4 laps to go. 1.1 the gap. Now, Cena slightly closing, but he's gonna have to do better if he wants to win. Now about 5 miles left in the race. Coming off of turn 4. 3 to go for Brendan Gaughan. At the line, the deficit is down to 7 tenths. John Cena and Richard Simmons have hooked up. The Chevy's trying to track down the former Chevy and now Dodge driver of Brendan Gaughan. And they are coming. They are coming. Oh, this is not what Brendan Gaughan wanted to see. 3 miles left in the TV Tropes 400. What's the gap? The gap was cut in half that time. Just a little over 0.3 seconds. 2 laps to go. 1.5 on track. Oh, Richard Simmons almost looked like he wanted to go for second. But is their advantage stalled out? White flag is out for Brendan Gaughan. Side by side for third behind him, almost. And he grew the gap. But Cena looks like at a lot better turn 1. Is it a better turn 2? I don't know. He's going to have to get a big run. He is kind of getting a big run. Is it big enough? I don't know. Turn 3. The gap down to only like 3 car lengths. Now down to 2. Down to 1. Cena diving low. It's a drag race to the line. Who's going to win it? Brendan Gaughan does it. Brendan Gaughan wins at Homestead. Oh, what a photo finish almost. Brendan Gaughan holds on by less than 1/10 of a second. 82 1/1000ths of a second. Brendan Gaughan has now won his 2nd career race in the NASCAR Vernors Cup Series. Oh, you love to see it. John Cena, his best run since joining his team, and it's not quite a victory. Richard Simmons, P3 for car 3. Bela Fleck bringing it home in the 4th slot. Billy Mays will round out your top 5. Oh, Brendan Gaughan. Oh, man. Gaughan coming all the way from the 38th spot to win. The miracle from 38th place. I can't remember the last time that happened, but I know it at least happened once prior. I remember Elliott Sadler doing it at Bristol in 2001. Oh, speaking of the 21 car, points leader Woody Woodpecker runs in the 37th spot. Oh, an atrocious afternoon. There you see the drivers who did the things, and they did the racing race. Peter Onjak coming home 33rd. His first start of the year, not quite what he wanted. Dave Marcus at a really promising race. Just did not have the best pit road strategy, fading to 18th. You hate to see it. Oh, but Brendan Gaughan, top of the scoring pylon for the first time in 9 months. The big man is going to be celebrated tonight. Brendan Gaughan has won the TV Tropes 400. There are your finishing results. But we're not done yet. Marco Polo, he lost 31 positions. He's the biggest loser of the afternoon. But we still got one other thing to look for. One other very important thing to keep in mind, and that is the current points situation heading into next week's race at Martinsville. And that is the fact that Geddy Lee has taken over the points lead. Brendan Gaughan in the 3rd. John Cena with a big jump, up 14 spots in points. And we look around the cutoff line. Burt Reynolds has fallen out of the top 35 in points by 3 points. And who's locked in? Once again, it's Rick Scott in the 02. And that was Rick Scott's first top 10 of the year for Raven West Motorsports. Wow, what a race. Wow. Oh. Wow. Whoa. Holy whoa is all I could say, because look at that. Burt Reynolds now last in points of everybody who made every race. Stephen George gains 5 slots in points. After his first top 10 of the year. He was in 35th. He was only good by, well, he was good by a decent margin. But, oh, man. Man, oh, man. I don't think you're quite safe, though. Even, like, Tom Jones is 21st in points. Theoretically, I believe... No, I don't know. He could tie. Anyway, the point is, it will be Burt Reynolds, Blaze Alexander, Casper the Friendly Ghost, Hank Hill, Grover Cleveland, Chick Corea, Donald Fagen, James Bond, and Carl Edwards having to qualify in on speed next week. Donald Fagen won a pole earlier this year and failed to qualify for this race. David Dayton, a pole sitter, he also has failed to qualify for a race. Hut Strickland, look at how far he's fallen. Oh, he's only down to 15th. He was 3rd after Sonoma. He was points leader after California. What we do know is this recording has gone on pretty long. Next week, of course, the Melling Series takes, and the Truck Series take to the Iowa Speedway. I don't want that thing. Of course, so Friday will be the Taco John's 200, and then the Cintas 250 on Saturday. And then join us right here Sunday, next Sunday, for the Span 500 only at Martinsville. We're going to have short track race, nothing but short tracks, next 3 races, next 3 weeks. And then after that, we get to go plate racing once again. So it's going to be an exciting time. Some fan favorite tracks coming up. Like a Flower coming up. Brendan God is your winner. Daddy Lee, your new points leader. And this has been an exhilarating 6th race of the year. It's been exhilarating. First 6 races have been really good. And that was a fantastic race. They've all been fantastic races. I mean, Sonoma not really, but the rest have been phenomenal. Like, holy cow. This is a good race. Until next time, farewell. I'm not saying goodbye because goodbye is kind of final. So, until next time, I've been announcer Western Caves. This has been a telecast of the Western Caves Sports Network. And I will see you next time.